I know it feels bad now, but if this Florida Gators offense doesn't start pulling their weight, this season's about to get a whole lot worse.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free, reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Monday. I'm Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my Florida Gators written work with swampsignal.substack.com. Today's episode of Locked On Gators is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. And I hate being like the doom or gloom guy. Like, I don't like doing that stuff. I feel like I've pretty openly always just said, hey, I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'm just coming out here to give my honest opinion. And I'm not trying to be like the conspiracy theorist, tornado signal guy. Like, I'm not trying to do any of that. But if the defense or if the offense doesn't pick up, this season's about to get a hell of a lot uglier. Go back to last season with the Florida Gators with DJ Lagway at quarterback. And even while winning games, I remember saying for the Ole Miss game and the LSU game, like going up to those games, I remember saying, this offense isn't sustainable with DJ Lagway at the quarterback spot. Because as a passer, DJ Lagway is nothing more than a deep ball guy. And you've got your run game. And outside of those two factors, you had nothing going for you offensively. Now we're in year 2 for DJ Lagway, or year 1.5 for him as a starting quarterback. And you've got an even worse issue now where you don't even have the deep ball going for you for DJ Lagway. Like your completion percentage is up, but you've got so many screens and slants, and that's kind of it. And none of it is going through reads and extending them. And none of this offense is about having these extended drives and sustaining those. This offense wasn't sustainable last year. It's already not been sustainable to this point so far. And that's a thing I've been talking about since last year. And people were saying that I was trying to bring down Florida and bring down Lagway and bring down. No, I'm just calling it how I see it. Like, I just care about being honest. And that's what I've been talking about, that this offense is not sustainable. And it's not. We're seeing that this year. If the offense doesn't figure something out, though, this is going to get a hell of a lot worse. Because the defense, and I will also say this, a big reason that I kept saying that the offense wasn't sustainable was because, one, you weren't finding success at a high enough rate. Like, yes, the deep pass was working. Yes, the run game was working, but they weren't working consistently enough to give you consistent scoring opportunities that were just punches and bunches. But also because you were putting the defense on the field for so many plays. Look at the LSU game last year. They were on the field for 90-something plays. You're putting the defense on the field for so long, and you're not going to be able to sustain that. Whether you're doing bend, don't break, whatever, if you're on the field for 90 plays, you're going to get beat at times. That's football. You're going to get gassed. Towards the end of the game, you're going to get gassed. And week to week, not only are you going to get gassed, but you're going to be physically beat up. We just passed, honestly, we just passed, I'm going to say week 4 for Florida. I'm not including the bye week, of course. But we passed week 4. We've already seen Caleb Banks go down with a significant injury that I think is going to cost him this entire season. George Gums missed the Miami game. Deshaun Johnson got injured in the Miami game and underwent season-ending knee surgery is the report. Aaron Gates injured his arm in the Miami game, and I doubt we see him back like this week. I'm not saying he won't be back for the entire season, but I'm saying this week that we see him back for the Texas game. Michael Caraway Jr., we don't even know the injury, but he's been out, and he was supposed to be safety depth. Mekhi Boyero has missed, the LSU and the Miami games now at this point? And again, that's just off the top of my head. Those are just the injuries that you've seen. We've seen guys like Devin Moore get banged up and leave and come back. We've seen Jamari Lyons, I think twice now. Jamari Lyons has left the game early and came back in both those games. But I'll tell you this, because a lot of people go, oh, yeah, let these guys get 100%. It's as simple as this. If you're getting hurt during the season, if you're getting banged up during the season, you're probably not going to be 100% again until the end of that season. So we're not doing this whole like, oh, yeah, let guys get 100% because that ain't happening. That's just not how it works. These guys get hurt and they just play through it. Like football players are actually genuinely insane. They just get hurt. They're banged up and they're like, all right, well, I only got to do this for 11 more weeks. I'll make it through. That's it. That's what they do. They're not going to be 100%. When you're not 100% and you're on the field for 75, 85, 90 snaps, it's not going to go well for you. And this is also, by the way, a defense that is going to keep you on the field longer than most. This defense does a hell of a good job not taking a single thing away from them. I know a lot of people hate the bend, don't break style. Bend, don't break means that you're going to bend. You're going to be on the field. There's going to be sustained drives for the opposing team. But you're going to keep them out of the end zone. That's the goal. When you've got those sustained drives, you're on the field for 9 plays at a time. Then your offense comes out there, goes 3 and out, or worse, throws a pick. Then your defense is right back out there for another 9 plays. Like in an ideal world, the defensive line is performing better when they're healthy, but they're not healthy at all. LJ McCray's been out this whole time, basically. They're not healthy. So we're talking about expecting a defensive line that's full of freshmen at this point to make these big plays. No, they're gonna play bend don't break. They have to. They have to do that. But the offense needs to help them, because if the offense doesn't start helping them, they're just going to play break and break defense, because they're not going to be able to go out there, game in, game out, drive in, drive out, and actually perform at the high level that they've been performing at so far. Like I'm not trying to do like the conspiracy theorists, like world is ending thing, but if this offense doesn't pick up, the only thing that they're doing at that point is screwing over this defense. And again, like we spoke about it on Friday, I think the offense can pick up. I think there are ways for the offense to improve. I'm not going to harp on Billy Napier giving up play calling duties. He's going to go down with the ship on that, and that's his call. Go ahead, have fun with it. But if the offense doesn't at least give the defense some kind of help, this is going to get, 1, scores are going to get wild, and 2, things are going to get toxic. As a defense, you can only go out there, if you've ever played defense, or even if you've ever played offense, if you've played on a side of the ball that is doing their job at a consistently pretty high level, and the other side of the ball isn't giving you anything, you're going to get pretty frustrated. When the losses start piling up with that, you're going to get really frustrated. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to do it, but people are going to get pissed and people are going to react. That's just football, right? Like that's just what that is. Guys are going to get pissed, especially now when you're talking about college age kids where they're still very volatile. Like that's going to happen. Offense needs to do something. Otherwise, this season is going to suck even more than it has to this point. We're going to talk about the 5 factors of college football when we get back with Locked On Gators. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugars and 0 crashes. And most importantly, they don't suck. I'm sorry. I've tried coffee. I hate coffee. It stinks. What I love most about 5-hour energy is that it tastes good. 0 sugar is big for me, because like in order to make coffee good, you got to pump it with sugar, and I'm not going to do that. And so small, portable. Like put them in my pocket, go for a walk. drink it whenever I feel like drinking it, right? Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine, right? It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold, try something new in store and online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. And if you're part of the Insider program, you got this information the other day. If you're not, go to joinsubtext.com/LockedOnGators. And as people know, if you're new here, welcome. We try to use every piece of context possible here. I think it's the way to get the best football opinion out there. And there's 4 factors in college basketball, right? It's basically the measure that, hey, if you do these things, you will most likely win the game. And there's a difference between basketball and football here. Basketball is each of these things contribute to the win. It's not, oh, hey, if you win this area, you probably win the game. It's each of these things contribute to the win. If you contribute or if you win in those areas by the weighted average, then sure, go ahead. Football is different. Football is, hey, if you win in this area, you win this percent of the time. And also, I will say this, we're only talking about the FBS games. I don't care that you won these things against Long Island. It's Long Island. I don't care. But first off is if you win the explosive play battle, that's basically how many points you score per play you run offensively. Okay? If you win the explosive play battle, you win the game 86% of the time. Okay? Florida hasn't won that a single time yet, right? And by the way, LSU destroyed them there because LSU scored defensive points as well. Miami destroyed them there because, well, Miami scored consistently. They had long drives, but they scored consistently, and they were getting in the end zone. Like, that was one thing where against most teams, Florida struggled, but, held them the field goals. Against Miami, they were getting in the end zone. So Florida hasn't won the most important one yet, points per play. Florida hasn't done it. If you win the efficiency battle, which is success rate, which is basically, does the play improve your chances of winning the game? Because you can gain a yard or two. That doesn't improve your chances of winning the game, right? That's a bad play. So it's not just if you gain yards, it's success rate. So if you win the efficiency battle, you win 83% of the time. Okay. Florida won that against South Florida and LSU. And Florida won it against LSU by a large margin. Okay. Florida's efficiency rate or success rate against LSU was 42%. Again, and LSU's success rate against Florida was 29%. Huge gap. By the way, bigger gap between Florida and Miami, where Miami had 47%, Florida had 29%. But and we're adding context to these things, right? I'm not just going to say, oh, these are the numbers. That's what it means. We're adding context. We're using as many tools as we can to talk about this team. And for me, I think that that's a pretty good indicator that the defense did their job against USF and LSU, but that the offense just didn't do enough. Like that's what the defense did their job, but the offense didn't bring them enough. Again, like I get it that against USF, you lost and there was a really bad drive to end the game. Defense was responsible for 16 points in that game. I'm not going to fault the defense for giving up 16 points and that being the reason that you lost. No, the reason that you lost is that the offense only scored 16 and special teams gave the other team 2. Against LSU, defense is responsible for at most 13 points. But again, some of those points came off field goals. And I'm taking away the only 7 from the pick 6 definitively. Everything else, debate. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. Like, the defense did their part. You won that battle against USF and LSU, not because your offense was so efficient. It's because your defense kept them from being efficient. So that's what that number means. Like yeah, Florida won it against USF and LSU and lost, despite saying, oh, hey, if you win this, you win 83% of the time. The outliers here is that Florida's offense did so poorly that your offense couldn't score enough. You couldn't win. If you win the drive finishing battle, you win 75% of the time. What that is the trips inside the 40. Okay. So trips where you cross the 50 and cross the 40. Drives to get inside those, how many points you score on those on average. Okay. Florida won that against LSU and against USF, right? The key difference there is that, again, because this is just when you get into the 40 or when you get past the 40, how many points you average per possession there. The difference there is that LSU and USF are just having more opportunities there. Like that's what that tells you. That USF and LSU are getting into the, and Miami are getting across the 40 more consistently. USF averaged 2.25 points per trip inside the 40. They were the field goals, right? And the one touchdown they scored was a big play, doesn't count. LSU averaged 2 points when they passed the 40, but they had a pick six, and Florida's offense did nothing. And so what that tells you there, because again, it says, hey, if you win this, you win 75% of the time. You won this twice and you lost, similar to the efficiency battle. Win 83% of the time, you won this twice, you lost. How'd that happen? It's not an exact science, first off, obviously. It's just telling you, hey, if you win this, you give yourself the best chance to succeed. But also, the difference is that Florida's offense hasn't even been making it across the 40. When they do, they score, good job. But they haven't even been making it across the 40. It's really tough to go, oh, yeah, well, they're doing great when they make it past the 40. The thing is, they only do it like twice a game. Yeah, you're not going to win Jack Diddley if that's the case. If you win the field position battle, you win the game 72% of the time. Florida won that versus USF. And it's insane to me that that's the only game, and again, it's another further indictment of this offense, where it's insane to me that the only game Florida won that was against USF, because Florida's defense has handed the Florida offense the 9th best starting field position in the country. Okay. Against USF, average field position 29, then 27, then 29, but you've given up 23rd against USF, so you won that one. 33 for LSU and 40 for Miami. Again, Florida's defense is giving the offense the 9th best starting field position in the country, but the offense just does nothing with it. That's it. That's what we're telling you here. That this is offense. If you win the turnover margin, you win 73% of the time. The only game in which Florida won the turnover battle was Miami. Against USF, you were -1 because DJ Lagway had the pick. You didn't force a turnover. Against LSU, you were -4. -4 because DJ Lagway threw 5 picks and you had a pick. And then against Miami, you had a pick. You didn't turn the ball over for once, and you won that. If you win the turnover battle, you win 73% of the time. You won it against Miami, and that's it. Here's the thing. That was the only thing you won against Miami, the turnover battle. Here's the thing. Against LSU, you only won 2 things, right? Against LSU, you won the efficiency battle and the drive finishing battle. Against USF, you won the efficiency battle, the drive finishing battle, and the field position battle. The most important one there is the explosive play battle. You win that, you win 86% of the time. Didn't do that. If you can have an explosive and efficient offense, you're going to win a lot of games. Here's the thing. Florida doesn't have an explosive offense right now, and they sure as hell don't have an efficient offense right now. They don't have anything going for them right now. Ideally, you want to win at least 3 of those 5, right? If you can win explosive play battle, efficiency battle, and drive finishing battle, teams aren't stopping you. If you can win explosive play battle, efficiency battle, and turnover margin, you're probably going to win a lot of football games. Hey, we're making the most of our opportunities and taking it away from them. You're going to win a lot. Florida's not doing any of that right now. We're going to talk more about this offense and defense and how this offense is honestly straight up just letting this defense down when we get back with Locked On Gators. One of the tools that help make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly Open Phone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard us talk about before, just with a new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the number one business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or your computer, so no more carrying two phones or relying on a landline like it's 1987. Sorry, that was mean, but it is what it is. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly Open Phone. Get started for free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedoncollege. That's QUO.com/lockedoncollege. And if you've got an existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls. Most importantly, no missed customers. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It's beautiful. Love making money. I'm telling you right now, we're going to make a lot of money this season. Betting on the under for Florida, probably. Really, like that seems to be the case, right? So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free, revision the podcast and on YouTube. And we're going to spend more time talking about some numbers that are going to make us sad. That's what being a Florida Gators fan is in 2025, right? And look, I will also say this. We spoke about these numbers with swampsignal.substack.com. I will also say, stop asking me about a head coach. I'm not having that conversation until an announcement is actually made for Florida. Like I said before, Scott Strickland's a spineless loser. I don't like that I go, oh yeah, there's not a 100% chance that he's going to get fired. And it's not about the buyout. It's about Scott being a loser. That's what that is. Okay. So I'm not talking about coach replacements. I've got my list ready. I'm just not talking about it until it's time. Florida's offense, just to wrap up today's show, we are talking about these percentiles. Florida's offense is only in the 80th percentile or better in opportunity yards, which basically means that when you run the ball, the offensive line gives you 4 yards per game. It's one of my least favorite statistics there. So it's honestly the one thing they're good at is the one that I don't care that much about offensively. Okay. The offense, this list is about to be a hell of a lot longer. The offense is in the bottom 20th percentile. In fact, I was just going to tell you that what they're in the bottom percentages or percentiles. I'm deviating from that plan as I'm recording this. I want to say the numbers too, right? Like I want to go through the numbers for this as well, because I think they deserve this public shaming. Florida's offense is in the bottom 20th percentile or worse in the following categories. EPA per play, they are in the 19th percentile. Laid down success rate, they are in the 4th percentile. 4th. Explosive play rate, 13th percentile. Explosive pass play rate, 7th percentile. Pass EPA per play, 15th percentile. Yards per dropback, 18th percentile. Passing success rate, 20th percentile. Havoc rate, 16th percentile. And havoc rate, by the way, is when the offense gives up a tackle for a loss, a sack, a turnover of any kind, or a pass defense, which is an interception or a pass broken up. That's what it is. So they're really awful in those areas. And it's also incredibly frustrating because like you look at where they performed in those areas in 2024 and it's starkly different, right? In 2024, yeah, your havoc rate was still down. Your havoc rate was still awful, but in EPA per play, 44th percentile. Laid down success rate was still awful because a lot of that was drop back passing or just handing the ball off. But your explosive play rate was 40th percentile. Still not great, but not bottom 20 percentile. Your passing explosive play rate was 83rd percentile. Your offense was incredibly explosive there. It was the run game that wasn't getting going. Okay. Your yards per dropback were up to 8.5 yards, which is almost 3 yards higher than you're currently at. Your passing success rate was 51st percentile. Like it still wasn't great. Again, it still wasn't great. It still wasn't sustainable, but it's a hell of a lot better than it is this year. And you would have expected it to be better this year when you've got DJ Lagway and he's in year 2. So you would have thought that would be better. It's not the case at all. It's significantly worse. And what already wasn't sustainable is even less sustainable now. So great job there. Offense is doing its part, right? The defense, let's get this right first. The defense is not bottom 25th percentile in anything. So the offense is bottom 20th percentile in what, 8 things I think I just named? Defense is in bottom 25th percentile, so even with a larger margin, in anything. Not a 1. Okay? The defense is in the top, or is in the 80th percentile or better in EPA per play. They're in the 81st percentile. They're just below it with early downs EPA per play. It's 79th percentile. So they're right there. Rush EPA per play, 85th percentile. Line yards given up, again, a number that I don't care about for the defense. I do think that it holds more weight, but I don't necessarily care a ton for it regardless, just because I think that's very inconsistent to do. But line yards given up, 81st percentile. Opportunity percentage, 82nd percentile. Explosive play percentage, 93rd percentile. Because really, there's the big play against USF, that long play. There's the 51-yard rush by Caden Durham late in the LSU game. And outside of that, there really haven't been many explosive plays that Florida's given up. Passing explosive play percentage, they're right below. They're at 79th percentile. Rushing explosive play percentage, they're at 85th percentile. Like they're honestly, like they're beating ass for most things. But again, this is just another example, another look at how this offense is doing nothing right now other than putting Florida's defense in awful, awful positioning. Billy Napier has said that he's maintaining the play calling duties. Billy Napier is going to go down with that ship. But if the offense doesn't provide, again, I'm not even saying average play. Give me below average play. Right now, you're giving me abysmal, anemic play. Give me below average play. And your offense is going to be able to help your defense a bit. Like that's honestly, if you give, like, again, this is just, it's so awful how this is a defense that we're watching, and it feels like watching a Muschamp team, which is wild because we have an offensive-minded head coach. But you've got a defense that's just dragging an offensive carcass to what I'm calling respectable losses in the sense of on the scoreboard. Again, I mean, when you look at the scoreboard, when you look at the box score, it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad of a loss. But when you watch the game, you realize that you're watching something just atrocious. But when you look at the box score, sure, they're going to show up as respectable losses on the resume. But you're watching a defense drag the offense to that, and it's not going to happen for long. You're not going to make it through this next slate with the injuries that have happened on defense, with the offense being as abysmal as it's been. You're not making it through that with anything respectable. It's going to get real disrespectful real quick. And again, like, I don't think this is going to be a Florida team that goes 2-10 like Florida State did last year. I think that your defense, for now at least, is doing a good enough job to keep you in games, and will probably, you create a turnover or two, and you're giving your offense a better chance, helping the old lady across the street that is this Florida Gators offense. But offense needs to do something. Again, I joked about this last week on another podcast, or 2 weeks ago at this point on another podcast. I'm basically watching this Florida Gators offense like that meme with the guy with the stick poking it, and he's like, do something. Like, I'm doing that to this offense right now. Like, do something. I don't care if you go to the triple option. Put Jaden Baugh back there with Jacoby Jackson, Duke Clark, Katie Daniels. I don't care who you put that. Put VB3, put Trey back there. I don't care. Do something. This offense should be much better than it's been. The issue is that it's that head coach and quarterback are just stinking right now. Hopefully, because we know DJ Lagway is practicing despite the boot thing last week. Hopefully, this offense gives you something. Something. You haven't cracked 17 points since Long Island. What the hell are we doing here? Give you something, offense. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. Wow. We will be back tomorrow at the absolute latest to talk more Florida Gators football. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI and all my Florida Gators work with swampsignal.substack.com. And I'll see you all next time.